my laughing exercise in the car. I started laughing from my diaphragm for no reason. You do that for 30 seconds, not only would that give you an ab workout, but your mood will increase in an instant. Even if you don't feel like, start laughing out loud from your diaphragm. In 30 seconds, you're going to be like, whoa, I feel so much lighter.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Today is a special edition of No Label Live, and I've got my friend Veronica Parks here. Veronica is a holistic health coach and an NLP practitioner. She just recently finished up a 30 days of love and healing challenge. Veronica, how are you doing today?
I'm doing quite wonderful. Thank you very much. Enjoying the sunny California.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that part of the country and love visiting my family there. So I'm a little bit jealous.
Oh, be happy for me. Don't be jealous. When you're happy, then you attract more of that in your life.
Yeah. Okay. Well, touching on that, I'm curious with your 30-day challenge that you just ended with love and healing. What was that about, and kind of what did you learn for yourself as you went through that and you led your audience through that?
The main thing that I personally learned was that I've been guided every step of the way. So backtracking a little bit, I was meditating and that idea came to me in my meditation that I'm supposed to do a 30-day challenge. I've never done anything like it before. I've never put so much work into posting a new tool every day on Instagram. That was 3 to 4 hours of work every day for me, on top of everything that I was already doing. And I was asking myself, why? Why am I doing this? And I just trusted the flow. Because the idea came to me in my meditation, I knew there were people out there that needed to hear the tools I was sharing. So I just trusted the process. I was instinctively guided every way. Like there were days that I would sit down on a computer and I was like, okay, I have to write the post for the next 5 days. I have no idea what else I can share. Because when I work with clients one-on-one, I do NLP, it's a whole different approach. So I'm like, what bits of that can I share with somebody that they can use it on their own without needing a coach? And I would just sit down and I would just say, Spirit, God, whatever you call it, give me the tool that somebody needs to hear. And the ideas were just flowing through. All I had to do is just start typing and the stuff would just come out of me. I'm like, thank you. So I can't say that I did it myself. I had all the help from upstairs, so to speak. But the concept behind was for 30 days. And you can still catch it on Instagram. It's a Parks Veronica. Every day I share a tool that you can use it in your life right now to light up your heart, to heal your heart, to bring more happiness and joy and more love in your life. You do every one of those tips in 30 days. I promise that you'll be a happier person than you start today. Just, they're very, very simple tools that you can use every day. So that was the concept behind it.
And I think it's interesting what you said about you just had to ask, right? I think
yes,
that's something.
And trust. I had to trust that somebody's got my back. And I want to iterate that. Yeah, because oftentimes we have these ideas and dreams. When the ideas come to us, I want people to understand that it's not technically your idea. Those are universal. That's why sometimes a product comes up and you're like, oh my God, I had the same idea 5 years ago. The ideas come and go. Many people have access to the same ideas. Believing in that, applying your passion and actually taking action, it's what matters, because a lot of people get the same ideas and very few follow. So I want you to use this my example as an inspiration, because if an idea pops into your head, and you're really passionate about, go for it. Trust that you'll be guided every step of the way. You'll attract the right people. You'll see the right commercials. You'll get the right books. Everything will come to you. Just follow your instinct, because everything is possible.
Beautiful. one of the things I saw during the 30 days, you talked about movement, and you said, did you think that we were going to have this challenge without any type of movement? And I looked back at some of your older stuff, and I saw a lot of dancing. So
Mm.
what kind of role has dancing and movement played in your life?
Dancing is, I call it food for my soul. And I had to make the hard decision a few years ago if I want to pursue dancing as a career or keep it as a hobby. And as much as I love doing it, I had to make a choice to keep it as a hobby. But as long as I dance a few times a week, that's my fix. I got that. Now I can focus on the business, on the healing. And it's scientifically proven that dance and music are the best uplifting tools that you can use. So people say, oh, I sing or I dance because I'm happy. It could actually work the other way around. You become happier because you are doing those things. So
Mm-hmm.
any chance you get to move, and for somebody might not be movement. People might say they I have two left feet. Who cares? Do it in your bedroom. Put headphones on and start dancing. You don't have to have an audience, or play an instrument or sing out loud. I believe that I don't have the best voice ever, but I still sing in the car with the windows lifted. Like, that shouldn't stop me from doing something that is so uplifting. So yes, any chance you get to move, you're moving the energy around your body, because oftentimes we're sitting down, and that is the worst position for our body, because the psoas muscle is contracted, and that's what creates a lot of back problems. So you want to move as much as possible. If you have an office job, take 5 minutes every hour, find more trips to the bathroom, go to the window, move as much as possible, because you don't want that stagnated energy on any of your chakras. When you get to move, you get to release a lot of that stuff. And it doesn't have to be dancing. For somebody, it could be kickboxing, walking in a park, swimming, any sort of movement that fills your heart with joy, that you get into the flow state, that you forget the sense of time and space. That is the food for your soul.
I'm curious because I have this idea. I talk about loneliness a lot with my audience, and like we talk about fight, flight, or freeze, and the idea that there's so much cortisol running through your body. And I'm like, well, if we think that we're getting chased by a lion or something, like, but there's nothing for us to attack, we should have movement. Like, if we're stuck in that mode of thinking, just think about it like you are being chased by something. Like, get your body moving and release some of that.
And maybe lower down the amount of caffeine, because that puts you in a flight and flight mode right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back in the days, you had to watch out for a tiger. Now you got nothing to watch out. You get an email and your heart is beating and you're like, oh my God, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Those instincts are imprinted in our DNA. So it's very important to add movement, breathing, laughter, even if there's nothing funny, even if you don't feel like dancing. When you feel like, and I'm glad you touch on loneliness, because as much as I speak about nutrition and movement and using different tools, loneliness is what kills more people than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that the day comes that we go to the doctor, and the first question before prescribing medication, the doctor can ask, do you have love in your life? Are you by yourself, or do you have somebody to love and appreciate you? Or do you love and appreciate yourself? Because obviously it starts with you. Almost every disease starts from there. Because when you're surrounded by people, when you have that joy and love and appreciation in your life, the need for alcohol, for sex to suppress stuff, for food, for drugs, for becoming a complete workaholic, it's gonna diminish. Because at the end of the day, all we need is love and appreciation. And we do all these things around to achieve that. So when you feel that cup, and it starts with you by loving and appreciating yourself, You can be surrounded by 100 people. You can have people around your house and still feel lonely. That starts from inside of your heart. It starts with forgiving yourself for everything that you've been through, accepting the good and the bad, the light and the dark, knowing that you are only human. And in the past, you did the best you could with the resources that you had. Stop blaming yourself for feeling that guilt or shame. Forgiving yourself. So then I get to spend the full day with myself, and I'm never lonely. I have a blast with myself. And I want to inspire and help every person that comes into my realm to fall in love with themselves so they are never lonely, whether they're by themselves or with 100 people around. Because that leads to all kinds of sickness. It starts there. And I'm glad you touched that subject, especially nowadays with the social distancing and isolation. And oh goodness, take
Yeah,
one thing that we need the most is love, touch, and socializing. Like that's who we are. We're social creatures. We're not meant to be
absolutely.
alone.
Um, I'm curious, going back to a previous question. So you're in your car, you're stuck in that LA traffic, and
Oh.
you're jamming out to a song like the your favorite song. What's playing on the radio?
With music, it's easier to say what I don't like versus what I like, because my likability to music is so broad. So anything that is low vibration, like a lot of hip hop that has cursing or heavy metal, those are the things that I don't allow in my life because it puts you in a certain mental vibration. It doesn't make you feel good, or it doesn't make me feel good. Then try it for yourself.
Yeah.
Any other type of music, I go for it. And sometimes I don't even need music. I do my laughing exercise in the car. I start laughing from my diaphragm for no reason. You do that for 30 seconds, not only would that give you an ab workout, but your mood will increase in an instant. Even if you don't feel like, start laughing out loud from your diaphragm. In 30 seconds, you're going to be like, whoa, I feel so much lighter and happier. Like, you don't need a reason to laugh, and don't worry about how you look, because you look around and you're so happy. I have a blast in my car, and I would say 99.99999% of people absolutely dislike LA traffic. I love it. This is my time to listen to my books, to dance. Not actually, I do dance. I dance with like my upper body. Sometimes I practice even yoga breathing and exercising, like the simple like sitting up straight and pressing your head against your chair. It contracts your whole back muscle around your spine. So now you're exercising. I mean, there are so many tools. I could build a course on the amount of stuff you can do while driving. So by the time you get home, you're the happiest camper. You come to your partner full of love instead of coming in and pouring all your complaints about your boss and finances and all this stuff. It's a great release exercise, and I would definitely use the car for that.
Awesome. Yeah, like you said, it's a perception thing, really. Like, it's actually the right
Yes.
amount of time you need to do a lot of things. We get caught in that cycle of always being in a hurry
Mm.
to
And never
get
getting
somewhere
there
that
in
we don't
time.
want to go in the first place. Um, so yeah, that's great. I'd be interested. So what's the idea behind the laughing exercise?
So laughing exercise, and that is something I had to learn the hard way, because I grew up in a third world country where even smiling is not appropriate unless there's something funny. So if I go home and I laugh and I smile to a complete stranger, they think I'm either cuckoo or I'm American, because they know Americans smile all the time. And when I came here, at first I perceived it as being something really fake. Like, you go to an event and everybody's so polite and smiles, and And I'm like, this is so superficial. But then I started doing myself, and I'm like, superficial or not, it makes me feel good.
Mm.
Because, and there are scientific proofs showing that your brain reacts to your facial expressions. So even without the feeling of happiness, when you smile, the facial expression sends a signal to your brain, and there is a release of dopamine. When you laugh from your diaphragm, your body can't tell the difference between a fake laughter and a real laughter. It gets the same amount of benefit. Don't take my word for it. Laugh out loud for 30 seconds. And if you need inspiration, I have a video on the 30 days of love and healing. I laugh every time I watch that video. Like, I laugh at my own laugh. It's infectious. I'm like, what time is it? It's time to laugh. I just start laughing. It's quite amazing what it does. And it literally takes a few seconds to completely shift your day. So anytime you feel your energy stagnant, anytime you have those negative thoughts coming into your mind, worry, stress, anxiety, go to the bathroom, lock the door, start laughing for 30 seconds, and then come out. You'll be a different person. And you do that often enough, you will start building that muscle when happiness is going to become easier and easier. I want to share with your audience that happiness is a choice. And I don't say those words lightly. If you had met me in Moldova where I grew up, I was a very serious person. There was but it was very little sign of happiness versus the person who I am today. I trained myself to be this until it became so natural that I can't wait to wake up in the morning and start a new day. For me, it's like, what gifts do I get today? How amazing is this? This is the best day ever so far. So train yourself, and using tools like laughter, loving yourself, accepting yourself, words of affirmations, being proud of yourself at the end of the day for everything that you accomplished instead of focusing on things that you haven't done. Because my friend, if something was meant to be done today, you would have done it already. So if you didn't check off your list, that's okay. It wasn't meant to happen today. Something better is going to come tomorrow. So just surrendering, accepting what is. As long as you do your part, be proud of yourself. Thank yourself for everything that you've accomplished. And stop rushing, because there is nowhere else you need to be but here in the now.
Yeah. How did you go from that serious kid? Like I asked a question before we started about labels that either hold you back or held you back, and you said nothing really does now, but when I was younger, it was the idea of being bad and feeling like you didn't deserve love, and now you just did a challenge all about love. So what has that been like, and how did you kind of peel back those labels and the meaning of being bad and now knowing that you deserve love?
The biggest realization for me was to understand that those labels were perceptions of my mind. Even if somebody calls you something, if you don't believe that, if there's no part of you that can relate to that, you won't accept that label. It would simply like pass through, right? Mm-hmm. If somebody comes to me and say, you're fat or you're ugly, I would laugh because I know I'm none of those things, right? So labels only work if you accept that in your life. And that is the biggest realization. It took me years and a lot of tools and a lot of work on myself to realize that the labels of being a bad person was labels that I took up on myself. And I had every reasons in the world to blame everything and everyone else, but taking the responsibility and realizing that I made that happen, whether consciously or subconsciously. So going back to my beginning, my journey started in Moldova, in a third world country. And I grew up in a complete poverty. And when I say poverty, I mean, clothes and going to places and maybe having a vacation. Though I had none of that in my childhood. All I did was work in the land and then go to school. That was my life as a child. I didn't really get a chance to play with other kids or have fun stuff or go on a vacation. And aside from that, I was sexually abused when I was 8. So having all those things in my life, I was asking myself why. The same thing when a lot of things happen to you, you ask, why did I do to deserve this? And I couldn't understand. I was studying very hard. I had straight A's at school. I was making my parents proud. I was doing all the work home. I did everything I was asked to do. Yet my life was, where my childhood is very traumatic. And there was the perception that I took out of it. So taking that label on myself, I truly believe that I have to be this horrible, bad person if all of these things happen to me, right? Mm-hmm. And I carried the label throughout life, and even through high school and college. I'm normally charming personality, so anywhere I go, like, I make friends really fast, but I would not allow those people to come close to me, because deep inside I was afraid they're going to find out what happened to me, that I was, growing up in a impoverished environment, that I was sexually abused, that I went through all of that. I took the label on myself, and I thought if they find that out, they're going to hate me, so I might as well push them away before they get a chance to really know me. And I did that subconsciously my entire life. And then believing this, that nobody understands me. When nobody really understands you is because you don't understand yourself. Anytime somebody triggers something in you is because you haven't accepted that part of you yet. And my true journey of changing happened when I came to US. Because for the first time, I felt free. I feel like I can start over. And start over, not just learning a new language and getting into a new culture and across the world and starting something new, but also build myself up into the person that I really get to love. Because I didn't love myself before. From the outside, it looked great and nothing could get to me, but my heart was closed. I had the biggest walls ever. And doing all the work on myself and finding the best tools and workshops and certifications, I got to heal my heart and build myself into an obnoxiously happy person. A lot of people can't handle it, and that is okay. When they're ready, I'll be here to embrace them with love. I am not for everyone, but what I'm trying to say is that it is possible. If I can become happy, if I can forgive and love everyone that ever caused me any pain, then so can you. Whatever you're going through, whatever hardship you've been going, that doesn't label you, it doesn't make you that person. And I see that with my clients a lot, like even having a disease, they associate themselves with a disease or their emotion. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just an angry person. No, you are just experiencing anger because of your circumstances, but this is not who you are. You're amazing. So let's peel off that stuff on a subconscious level, let it go, and you're good. Oh, I went through 3 divorces. There must be something wrong with me. That's not your label. You're amazing the way you are. So let's find out what within you can we grow and peel off. So then the next one is the best one ever. Life is about trials. We either win or we learn. We never fail. And those labels start within us, because when you get to know who you truly are, you get to know how freaking amazing you are. Nobody's label can ever touch you. Nobody's. So that was my transition. It was literally moving to US and tasting freedom for the first time and starting that inner work.
I relate a lot to the, like you said, clients with diseases, right? It's
Yeah.
um, you get taught a lot from my experience as somebody with cerebral palsy. The outside world just bombards you with uh, all the lack of expectations that you're supposed to have when you have a disability or some sort of disease. And so it's very easy to get caught up and think that everything revolves around that
You
one.
build your life around that, yes. And that is, there is a mindset game, because yeah, you might have a certain disease, you might experience a certain pain, but there's so many um, healing remissions that happen all around the world, and it all starts with a mindset. So just to explain on a more scientific level, there is a signal coming from your brain to the body, and then the pain comes in. So when you're dealing with some sort of sickness, if you are being positive and being happy, it's not necessarily that that heals you. But what happens is when that signal of pain goes to your body, if you're adding a signal of pleasure, happiness, joy, that cancels out that signal. And with time, you're experiencing less pain, less pain, less pain, and you free yourself of whatever that sickness you're dealing with. It doesn't happen in one day, but it will happen way sooner, and it is possible. When you associate yourself with that disease, with that condition, whatever that is, now you're putting yourself in jail. Now you're organizing your whole life around that disease. You accept it as part of who you are, and this is not who you are. Your body is going through some stuff. That's not who you are. And I love the concept behind your show, like no label, because label is what gets us in trouble in the first place. Our beliefs, the more narrow our beliefs are, the more need to label somebody we have. The more you learn, the more you broaden your awareness, the more you travel, the more different kind of knowledge you get to acquire, the less labels you need to give to other people. I get through nutrition a lot. People always ask me, because obviously I help a lot of people in their journey with nutrition, holistic eating. So like, so what are you? Are you vegan? Are you vegetarian? And I'm like, I'm a healthy person. I choose to eat healthy. I listen to my body. It's like, and they don't understand that concept. So, and I have this conversation almost daily with somebody. It's like, okay, but what do you eat? Do you eat meat? I'm like, no, I stopped eating meat several years ago as a personal health choice. They're like, okay, so you're a vegetarian. I'm like, no, I don't eat dairy either, but I make sometimes exceptions, you know, have maybe some feta cheese because it reminds me of my childhood, and I'll have some fish. Oh, so you're like pescatarian. Oh, and so you like this. So like, they go through this, like, and I see them struggling. It's almost amusing, and I just I have so much love for them, because they need to put me in the box, otherwise they can't judge me, because they already have a conceived perception of what a vegan person is like, what a vegetarian person is like, what a pescatarian person is like. They already have the comment coming in. Now they can't put you in a box. All of a sudden they're confused. How are they supposed to judge you? What about no judgment? What about accepting somebody for who they are? And if they ask you for inspiration, guide them in the right way. Are you asking me what I do so you can learn to eat the way I eat? I will share some stuff, but I'm also telling you what works for me might not work for you. They are general stuff, but we are so unique. By individuality is number one. There are as many diets in the world as many people exist. So dropping that need of putting a label on somebody, it frees you up to truly love and accept somebody. But that also starts with you. That means you have a lot of labels and beliefs about yourself. So now you have to lift those boundaries from yourself to truly be able to accept somebody without judging them, without putting them in a label. You're this, you're that, you're that. No, I am me. Can you accept me? And I come in all colors and all shapes. Can you be okay with that? Can we just focus on the experience of now instead of judging each other?
Yeah, everybody's brain is like, what do I do now? Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. Absolutely.
I confuse people a lot. So I'm like, I'm just a healthy person. I'm like, a label doesn't make you, I just eat, I listen to my body. And I just released the 8-week course. It's called Healthy Hacks. And it takes you to a complete transformation. It's something that will teach you a lifestyle that you'll never need a diet. It takes you to the whole process of what toxins to eliminate, how to listen to your body, how to find that perfect mindset and eating lifestyle that is custom made for you. How can you become your own doctor and biohack your body? And it all comes to listening. Your body's telling you all the time when you have a headache. It's your body telling you, hey, I need water, I'm dehydrated. You craving salt, your body's telling you, hey, I need minerals. Can you throw in some seaweed or something in there? Your body is constantly communicating to you. So in the course, I teach people how to listen to those signals so they can become their own doctor. No labels again.
So with the idea of listening, I love that. I've got a couple more questions, but what does it mean to be heard to you?
Heard as a person?
Yeah.
It goes back to the concept of your show. No judgment, no label. True listening and the art of true listening, I feel like it has been forgotten. And that's why a lot of people love coaches, because even therapists, they listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Having somebody listening to somebody, that means you're truly take their energy, the information, without already thinking how you relate to that story and how you're going to turn around and tell how the same thing happened to you. That's not listening. You listen to somebody, you let them finish, you allow that pause. Better off summarize what they just said to you to make sure you truly comprehend, because what they're trying to say and what you are hearing could be two different things. So again, letting go of the judgment of that personal filter and personal agenda. Reiterate what you just heard. And then you can say, would you want to know my opinion on it? Would you want my advice on it? Or ask another question. What do you think you should be doing? Because every person already has all the answers. Everything that you need is already within you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I love coaching, because I get to ask those high mileage questions for you to find your own answer, because there's nobody knowing what's best for you than you. Somebody can guide your way and shine that light, but you will do your own healing. You will find your own answers. So true listening comes from truly accepting somebody with everything that they are, with their beliefs, especially if they're different than yours. That's what true awareness is. How can you accept somebody's belief? And now, with everything that is happening in the country, we notice more than ever how stuck we are with our own personal subjective beliefs. What is the truth anyway? Oh, is it Republicans? Is it Democrats? Is COVID a conspiracy? Is a real thing? Is this real? Is this not real? And people are fighting, losing friends, losing people that they had in their life for a long time because they rather stick to their beliefs. And if somebody's beliefs are different, then they start attacking. We're not animals. We're social creatures. We're loving creatures. So what if we stop imprisoning ourselves and let go of those beliefs, or accept that any belief that we have is subjective? It's a result of every experience and everything we've learned so far. But do we know everything? Our beliefs is our own truth. Can you accept somebody else's truth? maybe if you combine both of your truths, you came up with something bigger than the sum of two. How is that for a concept?
Yeah. I think I think that the more we can access listening and just listening to listen to try and understand, we would
Mm-hmm.
make a big dent in things that are going on right now. Because I love that you said everything that happens is a reflection on every experience we've ever had, and that's why people in the same family can believe completely different things. Their life
Yeah.
experiences are completely different. And accessing that love, once again, going back to that and realizing that at the end of the day, we're all humans. And one of the things that I say is,
We're more alike than we're different.
yeah, most of the time, the answer, if we really sat and thought about it, is I don't know. And we're not okay with saying I don't know. We have to have.
Well, I actually don't like that question, and I train a lot of my clients not to say I don't know for a different reason.
Okay.
So what you're referring to is like having a specific opinion about, you know, political or religion um, stand. I steer away from the words I don't know simply because deep inside, if it comes from a place of love, you always know. But
Okay.
what happens is anytime you have something going on in your life, you say, I don't know, you automatically block your subconscious mind for finding that answer. And the answer is always within you. My biggest mantra that came into my meditation was listen to everybody, believe no one, and choose what empowers you.
Mm.
It doesn't matter what political view, whatever, those are all subjective opinions. So knowing that, can you step back and say, hey, which belief empowers me in this moment? Which one makes me happy? Does the belief that I need to watch news all the time, they're 100% negative, they're putting us in a low vibration and stress and flight and fight mode, is that really empowering me as a person? Am I feeling good about it? If I take a month off from news, from inhaling all the negativity in my body, would I miss on anything? Choosing my happiness, does that really make me an ignorant person? Because I can go outside, I have friends that will tell me if there's something big that happened. Do I truly need to fit in my mind with all that information that is putting me into a depressing or sad or anger mode? Is that really empowers you? Being in fear, and I truly believe that, and again, that is my subjective belief, that anytime you watch news, you watch negative stuff, especially about virus or any sort of illness out there, not only are you inhaling that straight on a subconscious level, now you're telling your mind, hey, get ready because this exists, it might come, and let's make it happen sooner. Not only does that process happen, but it also puts you in a low vibration and puts you in that fear mode. When your vibration goes down, when you are in fear, worry, anxiety, your immune system drops and you're more likely to get sick. So do we get sick because we're getting sick? Or do we get sick because we hear all this stuff like everybody's getting sick around, we're afraid about it, and now we attract it in our lives? Which one is it? You choose to believe whichever answer empowers you the most. I'm just here to ask questions.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that reframe there. So I know that is going to reach the right person. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you want to touch on before we end the show today?
I don't know when you're airing this, we are doing a 3-day healing and rejuvenation retreat online. So it's going to be a full weekend of yoga, meditation. I do my special healing sessions to help you release anxiety and stress and even help with depression. So all of this is going to be a whole weekend. Just go on my website and sign up. It's vpexclusive.com and it's called Rejuvenation Retreat. And stay in touch with me. Find me on social media. It's Parks Veronica. I'll share with you the links. If there's any way I can help you, I would be more than honored and happy. Otherwise, I constantly share content about nutrition, mindset, wellness, even healing sessions online. So stay in touch with me. Come and get your dose of inspiration, because there is a solution to whatever problem you're going with right now in your life. There is a solution, and whether I'm the coach for you or not, come and find out. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I am here to share for those who need to hear that.
Beautiful. Before I ask the last question, I want to acknowledge you for the joy that you do put out in the world,
Thank you.
the positive information, and just when I think about, because we found each other on Instagram, I just think bright colors, really happy, like that's the energy that comes across. So.
You're like, whatever she's drinking, I want some of that. It's green smoothies.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've touched on this throughout the show, but the last question is, when you think about no label defines me, what does that mean to you?
No label defines me. I am so big that I cannot fit in any label. How is that? And so do you. When we all realize how unique, that's one of my English kicks in, how unique, how amazing, how beautiful we are from inside out, we can never fit in any label. And that is my mission in this world, is to guide you and inspire you to fall in love with who you are, to see yourself through my eyes, because you are perfect the way you are. There's nothing wrong with you. And there's no label that can ever describe the enormous, the gigantic, the vast, beautiful energy that you are. And we all are. There's not another person that can do what I do, and there's not another person in this world that can do what you do the way you do it. That's how unique we are. I gotta work on that word.
Unique New York.
Unique.
Yeah.
Very unique.
Beautiful. And if you've watched this and you've gained some tool that you know you are going to implement, make sure and share it with both Veronica and myself. Tag us in you practicing using the tool. I hope everybody goes around and they're laughing. I hope they check out your the video you did about laughing. So we just have a bunch of people laughing. When you talked about that, what I thought of is there's times when I'll post a video of a baby laughing for
Aww.
people in my group to watch, because how can you not help but laugh?
Yes.
So I love that. So share that with us, and make sure and share this with a friend, because they need to hear it as well. They need to hear this positivity and this important message. And with that, you can catch us next week for another episode of No Label Live.
Perfect.